Hello everyone. I hope you will be fit and fine. And previous class we have covered regarding variables, how to declare a variable, small practical programs also. And today I am going to discuss about the flowchart and concept of running a program. So it is before making a program, you must know about the what is flowchart, how to create a flowchart. So these are a steps before making a program. We need to make a flow chart. So here flow chart means a flow chart is a simply graphical representation of steps. It shows a step in a sequential order and widely used presenting flow of algorithm. You know what is algorithm? See, anything which before working on anything you need to make a plan first. So this is a starter, how you have to make a program, what is the start, what is process, what is document, how to print, how to exit. So all about it you must know about it. So here, and widely used presenting flow of algorithm, workflow or a process, flow of processing. And it is a typically flowchart, shows the steps as a box of a various kinds of their order by connecting them with the arrows. You have to connecting with the arrows with the all these symbols. And flowchart symbols are different. Flowchart shapes have different conventional meaning. The meaning of some of the more common shapes are the follow mostly used. It is a terminator. Terminator symbol represents the starting or ending. This is called terminator, which is starting and ending. So it is just like a oval shape. So ending point of the system. Next is a process. It is a box, square, and box indicate the some particular operations. Whatever you are inserting or inputting or anything, you can declare like this. Next is a document. It is a shape of just like a this. This represents the printout, such as a document or the report. Anything you can print here. So next is a decision making. This is a diamond shape, and diamond present the decision or branching points, lines coming out from the diamond indicate different possible situation leading to the different sub process are also there. Next is a data. What is data? It represents the information entering or leaving the system. An input might be an order from the customer. An output can be product to the deliver. So this type of symbol just like a data. And next is a flow. This is arrow. Lines represent the flow of sequence and direction of the process. It will show the direction of the flow, which direction your flow chart is going on. See here, I have given a small example here. Flow chart adding a two numbers. See, earlier you have done a simple getting a value and calculating and printing. Here flow chart, how to make a flow chart. This is a oval shape, start. Then this is a rectangular, but shape is just some different. Read A, read B. You are getting a value here, getting a value here. Now you have to make a calculation in a rectangle. Sum equal A plus B. So this shape input and output symbols are same. This is a calculate part is a different. This is a sum equal a plus b. This is a processing part is a different. Input and output part is a same. Starting and ending part is a same. Just you have to remember this is getting a value 1, 2 and calculating both of in a rectangle shape, and printing is the same as a input print sum. So sum is here, it will print. So this is a normal flow chart which is used to add two numbers. You can make a program, any program, just simple steps are there. Beginning, getting a value, processing part, printing. Here running a program, generally the program developed in the high level language like a C, C++. Generally which we are making a program C, C++, Java, etc. cannot understand by the computer. Directly it can't understand computer. By the computer, it can understand only low level language. What is low level language? It is a machine language. So the program written in a high level language to be converted into a low level language to be high level language. First, what does whatever you are doing program in a high level programming language, it directly does not understand it. So first it convert into a low level language. What is low level language? That is a machine language. Then compiler compile whole program and it show the error line by line. And see here language to make it understandable for the computer. This conversion is performed using the either the interpreter or compiler. In an interpreter which you are using in a Python, what does it? First, also Python programming is also high level language, but first what does it? It convert into a low level language, machine language. Then interpreter execute line by line. If there is any error in a first line, it is stop here only and it doesn't move to the next line. So interpreter means it is a line by line. In a compiler, in a one go, all program will be compiled and send the error line by line. In an interpreter, first it convert high level program Python programming into machine language. Then after converting it, it interpret by interpreter and execute line by line. But in a high level language, first high level language programming into a machine language, then it compiles in a one go. All program will be compiled in a one go and send the error line by line. So we'll discuss about compiler and interpreter later on. And here the basic flow of any program execute is shown in the diagram. See here. First, source code, which is your programming code. Then it goes to the compiler. What is compiler? It is your system compiler. Then it also list of error. It will send it back to the source code. Otherwise, if it is correct, then it shows to the object where you want to print any object. The previous diagram I have shown to you, just sum equal a plus b. Sum is a object, it will send print sum. So just like any object, it will send that object. And linker will link both the input and output executable part, and after this it will send the output. See here program. And it also combination of program binary execution, binary then execution. It is also CPU processor then output, it will display in the output. So what does it? Once program which you are writing in a high level language, it convert into a machine language, and compiler or interpreter it convert into a machine language. Then if there is a error, it send it back to the source code. Whatever which language you have written, it return it back. Otherwise, if code is a correct, it will send the your source code to the object. Then it will linker will link all the data, and it will send to the CPU, and direct to the CPU will send to the output. So this is a process of running a program. See, running a program, the compilation mainly undergoes following steps. First, processing phase. What does it? Removal of comments and carry out the processor directive. First, what does removal of comments and carry out the processor directive? And second part, compilation phase. What does it? Analyze phase, that identification of a tokens which you are declaring that. And synthesis phase, that formation of syntax tree. And next is a assembly phase, that source code is a converted into a object code, that is a third part from a machine code. First, high level language, that is sent to the interpreter or compiler, which convert into a machine language. So that is second part. After it is a successful, so from machine language to it will send to the direct object where it is being to print. And linking, next fourth part is a linking of the other executable files with the object code, that is called linking. And loader, this program loads to the executable module into a memory execution in a CPU. After final, it will send to the output in a monitor. So here the difference between compiler and interpreter, both are very important. And what is interpreter? Translate program into a, first, what does it? Translate program into a machine language. What, see here, translate program on statement at a time, one statement at a time. And compiler, what does it? Scans the entire program and translate it in a whole into a machine language. First, it will whole program into convert into machine language. It takes a less amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is a slower. In this, overall execution time is a slower. In this, it takes a large amount of time to analyze the source code, but the overall execution time is a completely faster rather than interpreter. See here on third point, no intermediate object code is generated, hence are memory efficient. No intermediate object will be created by interpreter, and in this generates the intermediate object code which further requires linking, hence require more memory. In this, it intermediate object, and interpreter continue translating the program until the fast error is met, in which case it stops, hence debugging is easy. Its debugging is very easy because one line by line is it execute. Here it generates the error message only after scanning of the whole program. First it will scan whole program in a one go, then it will debug. Debug means it will rectify the error, and it will find the error and show in a line by line. Hence debug is a completely hard in this. In this, debugging is a very easy. And programming language like a Python, Ruby is a interpreter. Python, Ruby are a interpreted language, and programming language like a C, C++ are a compiler language. So this is a very important topic. And here operating system as a resource manager, how it works. And there is a no number of resources available in a computer system. These are CPU, memory, input output devices. If a computer system is used to multiple application, then they will complete for these resources. So it is the job of the operating system, it is the job of operating system to allocate these resources to the various applications, so that what they can do, the resources are allocated fairly and the resources are protected from a cross access. Access to the resources is a synchronized, so that operation are correct and consistent. And last is a deadlocks are detected. Deadlocks are detected, resolved and avoided. So these are resources done by application. Major of operating system functions are here. Process management first. What is process management means? CPU can perform a one task at a time, one time. So if there are many tasks, operating system decides which task should get the CPU. So that means process management system, which task to be done by CPU. First it will decide. Next is a memory management. If there is a no operating system, the program may mix with each other. The operating system manages the memory to not to mix program and to provided memory to these programs, right? Third is a input output management. Input and output management. Operating system control all the inputs and output devices, monitors their request, issue commands to the device. Whatever they have request to the any issue in a command, it will directly send to the device. So program execution under the operating system, process management system, how an operating system runs in a program. See here, any program under execution of processor is known as a process. A process includes the complete execution. What does a process include? The complete execution and context code of the executed data into a manipulate the register, operating system, resources and in use. So following are the major activity on an operating system with respect to the program management system. See here. First, what does it? Load a program into a memory. First, it load the program into a memory. Then, what does it? Execute the program. Then it will execute the program. Second part. Third part, handle programs execution. Whatever you are executed, it handle the program execution. It provides the mechanism of a process synchronization. So next part, provides the mechanism for a process communication also, and provides a mechanism for a deadlock handling. It provides deadlock handling. it provides a mechanism for deadlock handling. Now process state diagram is here. I have tried to make you understand. A process change its state during its execution. Each process may be in one of the following states. See here, first new. What is a new process? When a new process is being created. See here, new process is being created. Running. Next is a running. A process is said to be in running state when instructions are being executed. See here. And next, waiting. The process is waiting for some events to occur, such as an input-output operation. Now next is a ready. The process is a waiting for a processor. That means it become a ready. Last is a terminated. The process has finished execution. This means termination, beginning or ending, that is a same. This is a termination. Oval shape. New. This is a process. See here. New, ready, running. So process control blocks are here. So it is a data structure maintained by the operating system for every process. The PCB, process control block, is identified by the interprocess ID, PID. A PCB keeps all the information needed to keep track in the process. So here first part, process ID, unique identification for each of the process is an operating system. And next, process state, the current state of the process, whether the ready, running, waiting, or whether the and process privilege. This is required to allow. It can be allow or disallow access to the system resources. Now a pointer to parent process, and program counter. What is next? Program counter. Program counter is a pointer to the address of a next instruction to be executed for this process. CPU register, various CPU register where process needed to be stored execution to running a state. Next, CPU scheduling information, process priority information. This is a CPU scheduled information. So here first process ID, then state pointer. So typical processing control block is a just like a these are the steps here. Next is a scheduling. How it schedule. So nowadays processor perform a multiple tasks at a time. It is only possible when each task process is a schedule. There is a two type of scheduling. One is a primitive and non-primitive. So primitive, this all. So here schedule, these are two types of scheduling. Primitive, it all the process execute by using of some amount of CPU. And second, non-primitive is this number of scheduling user after compiling the first process. And here Some scheduling technique are followed. First come first serve. First come first serve means which input is the first that will execute first. As the name suggested, process those are coming first will be execute first. And second, shortest job first. In this scheduling, all the process are analyzed into their size, and shortest size process is a selected first. Which is the smallest, which is the shortest, that tasks execute first. Third part, priority scheduling. When the process is a given, then each process have priority, highest priority to the chosen first. So this you have to select from scheduling. And round robin. In this scheduling, the time of the CPU divided into equal parts of the assigned to the various. You have seen sometimes you are copying on data into your drive, anything that show the time processing. So that is called, first it schedule the time CPU divided into the equal parts assigned to the various process. So next is a queue scheduling, multiple queue scheduling. In this, the time CPU is divided by the using some processing categories. I hope you will understand this topic. So these are normal steps before doing a program. So you must aware about it. What is interpreter? What is compiler? How it works? How to make a flow chart? So we have covered all these topics. In the next class, we'll do practical with the Python programming. Thank you. Have a great day.